Read the statement of sum number 11. Illustration. Look, very good sum. Not only we will solve the sum as it is given in the textbook, we will be going ahead in this sum. You will really find it very interesting. Look, we have 2 points A and B. Distance AB they have given 36 meter. One particle, say particle number 1, it starts from point A, right? It moves towards B point. Another particle, say particle number 2, also starts at the same moment. Here also t equal to 0, here also t equal to 0. And that particle number 2, it also moves towards right hand side. Means both the particles move in the same direction. Okay? Initial separation between them is given to you 36 meter. What is asked to us? At which 2 times will they meet each other and at which positions? That is what we have to find out. Positions are, I am showing by symbol, x1 and x2 and times t1 and t2. Okay? Let us find out these distances and these times. Okay? Come on. For particle number 1, what is the initial velocity? They have given 252 km per hour. Now acceleration is given in meter per second square. So you must convert velocity also in meter per second. So kilometer per hour will not do. You have to convert compulsorily into meter per second. 252 as it is. 1 kilometer is 1000 meter and 1 hour is, remember, 3600 seconds. 1 hour is 60 minutes. Each minute is 60 seconds. 60 into 60, that is 3600 seconds. Simple. Now 2 zeros will be getting cancelled. 2 fives are, 2 18s are. So multiply by 5 divided by 18. You must convert kilometer per hour into meter per second by multiplying with 5 and dividing by 18. Come on. 2 fives are, 2 18s are. Simplify. Answer is 70 meter per second. Okay. D equals to V0t plus 1 by 2 AT square. This is second equation of linear motion with a constant acceleration we had obtained last time. Instead of distance d, I just show it by symbol x. Initial velocity for the first particle, it is 70 meter per second. T as it is, 1 by 2 as it is. Acceleration for first particle you are given in the statement minus 4 meter per second square into t square. In this statement, what have they given? Acceleration of first particle minus 4 meter per second square. But sometimes they don't give minus sign, but they will use the word deceleration. Deceleration is negative value of acceleration. Deceleration is negative value of acceleration. Okay? But here though they have given with minus sign, so no problem. Come on. A is minus 4, t square as it is. 70 into t plus minus minus 4 upon 2, that is 2 into t square. Give it equation number 1. Now talk about particle number 2. For particle number 2. Come on. They have given initial velocity 144 kilometer per hour. What did I tell just now? To convert velocity from kilometer per hour to meter per second, what you must do? multiply by 5, divide by 18. Say everybody, multiply by
5 divided by 18.
Then this answer is 40 meter per second. Same equation I am writing once again. D equals to V0t plus 1 by 2 AT square. But now take care. Take care. Suppose this one distance is x. This one distance is suppose x. Suppose. Then this one is 36. Correct? This much is x. This much is 36 meter. So what must be this remaining distance? Come on everybody. X minus 36 meter. Correct? When both the particles meet here, the distance traveled by first particle is x and distance traveled by second particle is x minus 36. X minus 36. So now this for second particle, this distance is come on x minus 36. X minus 36. V0, initial velocity for second particle, it is 40 meter per second. T as it is, 1 by 2 as it is. Acceleration of second particle, they have given 8 meter per second square into t square. Okay. 40 into t as it is, 8 upon 2 that is 4 into t square. Give it equation number 2. What I am doing now, I am taking subtraction of equations 1 and 2. Subtract equation 2 from equation 1. Look, x minus x minus 36. Everybody, x
Minus x minus 36.
Everybody, x minus.
X minus 36.
Now when you are taking this minus this, you must take this minus this. 70t minus 40t. How many? 30t. Say
30t.
minus 2t square minus 4t square. Altogether minus 6t square. X minus x getting cancelled. Minus minus plus 36. 30 into t minus 6t square. Transfer these two terms on left side. From minus it will become plus. From plus it will become minus. This 36 as it is, and that equals to 0. Divide each term by 6. Come on, when you divide by 6 here it is t square. Divide by 6 here, 6 5s are 30, so here it is 5. 6 6 are 36, so here it is 6. 0 upon 6 is 0. T square minus 5t plus 6 equals to 0. Factorize this equation. You should find out such two values whose addition is minus 5, whose multiplication is plus 6. You know, minus 2 minus 3. Minus 2 minus 2 minus 3, how much it is? Minus 5. And minus 2 into minus 3, how much it is? Plus 6. So you can factorize this equation this way. T minus 2 into t minus 3 equals to 0. Come on, when this multiplication is 0, come on, either this is 0 or both of them are 0. Say either or. So take this equal to 0. Take this equal to 0. When you take this equal to 0, come on, t will be 2 seconds. T will be, when you take this equal to 0, come on, t will be, so at which times they will meet each other, come on, at 2 seconds and at they will meet each other. That is what we found out. But now at which positions, so positions x1 and x2 we have to find out. From equation 1, come on, from equation 1, x, instead of x you just write x1. Instead of t you just write t1, okay? First time, then first position, second time, second position. Come on, first time, first position, second time,
Second position.
let us find out one by one. 70 into t1 minus 2 into t1 square. What is t1 everybody? 2 seconds. T1 is?
2 seconds.
T1 is?
2 seconds.
72 is 140. 2 square is 4. 4 into 2, 8. 140 minus 8. How much? 132 meter. 132.
Meter.
And now tell me, instead of t1, you must write t2. Instead of t1, t2. And instead of x1, let me write x2. 70 into t2. What is another time? 3 seconds. So this is 3. Minus 2 into t2. T2 is 3 square. 73 is 210. 3 square 9. 9 into 2, 18. 210 minus 18. Answer is 192 meter. 100. So from point A, at which positions both the particles will meet each other? Come on, at distance, come on everybody. 132 meter as well as 100. here they will meet at the end of 2 seconds, at the end of, and here they will meet at the end of 3 seconds. Okay? I'm asking you one question now. How it is possible that they are meeting at two different positions? Two particles are traveling in the same direction, this way, correct? Then how it is possible that they are meeting each other at two different positions? How it is possible?
Because speed of particle B is less than speed of particle A.
Look, it really happens. You must have experience when you make journey on the highway. You are in the Honda City. You are in the Honda City. Honda City is going with a typical speed. Okay? Somebody coming from the back side in Maruti Fronti. Maruti Fronti. And he overtakes you. He overtakes you. So he will go ahead. Hai? Then you will look at it. Oh, he is in Maruti Fronti. I am in Honda City. How he can overtake me? And then you will put the leg on the accelerator. You will also speed up. And at some another position, you will overtake that fellow. So here, look. Here, first particle overtakes second particle. Say, first particle overtakes second particle. And here, second particle overtakes first particle. But simply guessing will not do. We have to prove. We have to prove that first particle will overtake here and here second particle will overtake. How can we prove? By finding velocity. By finding velocity. Let us find out velocities of both the particles at two different times. At t equal to 2 seconds or so and at t equal to 3 seconds or so. Write down. Write down. Put a star and write extra. Put a star and write extra. Right. In sum number 11. In sum number 11. At the end of t equal to 2 seconds. At the end of t equal to 2 seconds. Comma. Right below that, look here. First of all, try to understand. Number 1. Look here. V equals to V0 plus AT. You are talking about first particle. So I should write V1. Here V01. Here A1. Time is 2 seconds. Time is 2 seconds. Come on. What is initial velocity of first particle in meter per second? In meter per second, how much it was? 70 meter per second. Don't write, look here. Acceleration of first particle. Minus 4. What about time? 2 seconds. 4 to the 8. 70 minus 8. 62 meter per second. What about velocity of second particle? V2. Like this. Come on. V02 plus A2 into T. What is initial velocity of second particle? 40 meter per second. What about acceleration of second particle? 8. Time is 2 seconds. 8 to the 16 plus 40, 56 meter per second. What is this? 62. What is this? Is this greater than this? So V1 is greater than V2. Therefore V1 greater than V2. If velocity of first particle is more, first particle will overtake. Second particle. First particle will overtake second particle. Proved? Now what is the another time? 3 seconds. Say 3 seconds. For 3 seconds you find it out. First of all, write down this much. Write down this much. Find out for 3 seconds. 58 and 64. Very good. Perfect. V1 is 58 and V2 is 64. So what is the conclusion? V2 greater than V1. Say V2 greater than V1 means what? At 3 seconds, what will happen? Second particle will overtake. When it is about to overtake, at that time they will meet each other. They will meet each other. Interesting? Interesting? These all things can be found out using these equations of physics. Equations of physics. These equations are perfect. Everybody got it? 58 and 64. Stop it. Read number 12. Very simple, but you should learn something from this. You should have some lesson from this example. What is that? I'll show you. You are driving some vehicle with a speed V0, suppose, and you need to apply the brakes. Then you will apply the brake, then what will happen? Speed will decrease. At any moment when you are applying the brake, that moment onwards, till the vehicle gets stopped, by that time the vehicle must have traveled some distance. It is that distance after traveling which vehicle gets stopped. That's why it is called stopping distance. What is it called? Stopping distance. Distance covered by a vehicle after applying brakes and before getting stopped. Before getting stopped is called stopping distance. Is called shown by symbol DS. Shown by symbol DS. Stopping distance. Stopping distance. Don't you know third equation? V square minus V0 square equals to when the vehicle is getting stopped, final velocity is 0. Final velocity is 0. V0 square as it is, 2 as it is. Because you have applied the brakes, the vehicle will slow down. Vehicle will, whenever velocity decreases with time, the acceleration is negative. So you must write minus A in place of A. Come on, instead of D I am putting DS, stopping distance. Say everybody.
Stopping distance.
Now this is 0 only. This is minus V0 square. Say minus V0 square. Minus 2A ds. Everybody, minus 2A.
Yes.
Minus minus plus. Find out ds. It is V0 square upon 2A. Everybody, V0 square. V0 square. So what you should learn from this? Look, ds is directly proportional to V0 square. ds is directly proportional to, but at the same time it is inversely proportional to magnitude of deceleration. Magnitude of deceleration. When the stopping distance is directly proportional to square of initial velocity, you must be aware of this fact while driving your vehicle. Whenever you are driving any vehicle on any road, you must be aware of this fact, because if you are making your initial speed, suppose 3 times, then 3 square will be 9. So stopping distance is becoming 9 times. Is becoming 9 times. And if that much distance you don't have between you and the obstacle, then you will definitely strike with that obstacle. You will meet with an accident. You will meet with an accident. So that's why the boards just signifying speed limits are assigned at the hospitals, at the schools. Depending upon this fact, they have just put the speed limit, and their speed limit boards are there at the schools and the hospitals. Okay. Suppose your initial speed is 20 km per hour. Okay. And at that time stopping distance is suppose 10 meter. How much? 10 meter. Instead of 20 km per hour, suppose you are making the speed 3 times, 60 km per hour. Then 3 square will become 9. The stopping distance would become 9 times. So instead of 10 kilometer, 9 into 10, that is 90 kilometer. 90 kilometer. Okay? Suppose stopping distance 10 meter initially, then it will become 9 times. So it will be 90 meter. It will be 90 meter. Now by 90 meter, after traveling 90 meter, your vehicle will get stopped. Okay? But if before that, if any obstacle is coming in the way, you will definitely meet with an accident. Okay? Then you may think, sir, by increasing this deceleration, can we not decrease this stopping distance? Yes, definitely. But then you will need to apply very short brakes. And when you apply very short brake, it is very difficult to control the steering. Okay? Your vehicle will skid away. Hai na? Look now. Little theory is there. What is called free fall of a body? What is called free fall of a body? If you release any body from certain height, what happens? That body falls vertically downwards. But when it is falling in the gravitational field of Earth, at that time surrounding to Earth we have atmosphere, atmospheric air is there. So that air provides air resistance. But we just consider ideal situation. Suppose air resistance is not there. Then only gravitational force will act. And when only gravitational force is acting, at that time, whatever is the acceleration produced in the motion of the body, that acceleration is called gravitational acceleration. How much? What is the value? Value is 9.8 meter per second square. 9.8? And at that time, that motion is called free fall. Motion of a body undergone in the excess of, under the influence of only gravitational force. Under the influence of only is called free fall of a body. Vertically downward motion of a body taking place in the presence of only gravitational force, no other force, then it is called free fall of a body. And during the free fall, remember two values. Initial velocity is always 0 and acceleration is equal to gravitational acceleration. What is the value? G equals to 9.8 meter per second square. 9.8? Now take interest. Look. In the textbook they have adopted, for the further sums, they have adopted one sign convention. What is that sign convention? Simple. Suppose direction of motion, motion is carried out along, say, vertical axis, and that vertical axis I have shown with the y-axis. Come on, vertically upward, it is positive axis, and vertically downward it is negative axis. Suppose you have velocity and displacement along vertically upward direction, then they are along positive axis, then you should take them positive. Suppose you have velocity and displacement and acceleration along vertically downward direction, that is along negative axis, then you must take them negative. Come on, any quantity vertically upwards, that is along positive axis, you must take positive. Along vertically downward, that is negative axis, you must take it negative. Okay? Now depending upon this fact, they have shown some graphs here. Look. Graph of distance covered by freely falling body versus time. Time I have shown on x-axis. Distance covered by body. For a freely falling body, distance is covered vertically downwards. That's why I am showing along negative y-axis. Can you tell me why the shape of the graph is like this? Why the shape of the graph is like this? Why it is not a straight line? Why it is curved graph? So, what will happen? Acceleration is constant. Look, can you write this 9.8 meter per second square? Can you rewrite this way? 9.8 meter per second. Say meter per second. Can you write so?
Yes.
Second will come down and second into second, that is second square. But what is the meaning of this? Per every second, velocity of freely falling body will increase by amount 9.8 meter per second. By amount? Initially velocity is 0. Initial velocity is 0. at the end of 1 second what will happen? At the end of 1 second what will happen? Velocity will increase by 9.8 meter per second, correct? So 0 plus 9.8, 0 plus, what is the velocity? 9.8, okay? Allow another 1 second, allow another 1 second to get lapse. Then 9.8 plus 9.8, 19.6, say meter per second. Allow third second to get lapse. 19.6 plus 9.8, it will become 29.4, say. So what does it mean? As time passes on, velocity keeps on increasing. Velocity keeps on increasing. Naturally, when velocity will go on increasing, the distance traveled in the same time will go on increasing. Will go on increasing. That's why, look, in very first second, distance traveled vertically downwards is only this much. Only this much. In another 1 second, distance traveled is still greater. This is little bit greater. Okay? Compared to this is greater. Okay? In another 1 second, distance traveled is still greater. Still greater. So what happens? That as time passes on, the vertically downward distance travel goes on increasing. Goes on increasing. Why? Because velocity goes on increasing. Velocity goes on increasing. That's why. And all the distances are vertically downward, so it is on negative axis. Okay? Fine. Come on. Velocity versus time. Here it is velocity, correct? And here it is time. At the end of 1 second, what is the velocity? 0 plus 9.8. 0 plus, so it is 9.8. At the end of another 1 second, 9.8 plus 9.8. How much? Plus 9.8. How much? But all these velocities are vertically downwards. Vertically downward velocity should be taken negative. Should be taken negative. So all these values are written negative. And then graph is a straight line. Graph is a straight line. Because velocity increases uniformly. Velocity increases uniformly means for every given equal increase in the time, the increase in velocity also must be same. Between 2 and 1, what is the increase in time? By 1 second. By this minus this is also 9.8. This minus this is again 1 second. Again this minus this is again 9.8. So as time increases uniformly, come on, velocity also increases uniformly. Correct? Last, acceleration versus time graph for freely falling body. What is the acceleration of a freely falling body, everybody? 9.8 meter per second square. 9.8? But because it is constant with time, then graph should be horizontal. Graph should be like this, correct? It shows constant value of acceleration. Constant value of, and because it is vertically downwards, I must take it with minus n. With got it? Read now, statement of sum number 13. V equals to V0 plus AT. When you throw any body vertically upwards, what will happen? As time passes on, it will achieve greater and greater height. But then at the point of maximum height, it would come to rest for a moment. And then after 1 second, it will start falling downwards. Okay? So I'm talking about a point of maximum height. Then final velocity has just become 0. Initial velocity is V0. Why I'm taking plus V0? Initial velocity is vertically upward than positive. What about acceleration? It is gravitational acceleration, which is vertically downwards. Then I must take it negative. So I'm writing A equals to minus G, T as it is. Come on, plus minus. And now transfer. From minus it will become plus. Find out T, V0 upon G. T equals to V0. What is this time? Time taken by body to achieve maximum height. And now we are asked to find out that maximum height is how much? I'm showing you. V square minus V0 square equals to 280. V square minus V0 square equals to 280. At the point of maximum height, what is final velocity? 0. Final velocity is 0. Minus V0 square as it is. 2 as it is. What about A? A equals to A equals to, and instead of D, the distance traveled at the point of maximum height, distance traveled vertically upward is equal to maximum height. It is equal to, so in the textbook they are written H, better you write H maximum. H, it is not simply height, it is maximum height. It is, so instead of D I am putting H maximum. Come on, this part is 0, minus V0 square, here minus 2G H maximum. Everybody, minus 2G, minus minus plus. So V0 square equals to 2G H maximum. 2G, find out H maximum, transfer this 2G in the denominator. So H maximum would be, come on everybody, V0 square upon 2G. V0 square upon 2G. V0 square upon 2G. What is this? Time taken to achieve maximum height.
Time taken to achieve maximum height.
What is this? Maximum height itself. Maximum height. What is the formula? V0 square upon 2G. V0 square
Upon 2G.
based upon these two formula. If I give you extra sum, can you do it? Right. One fielder throws a cricket ball. One fielder throws a cricket ball vertically upwards. Full stop. This ball returns into his hands. After 4 seconds. Find maximum height achieved by the ball. And also corresponding time. Okay? Nobody will speak even a single word. Keep totally silent and do it. Understand the statement first. You have not understood the statement. Read it again.
19.6.
Perfect. 19.6 meter. And time, corresponding time is 2 seconds. Look. Stop writing now. Ball is thrown, look here, this way. Correct? Going and coming back. Going means ascending, say, because height is increasing. Coming down means descending, because height is decreasing. You are given total time. You see? Ball returns to hands at the end of. So going must be 2 seconds, coming back must be, that total time is given to you 4 seconds. So when it goes up, when it is ascending, the time taken is half of 4 seconds. Half of 4 seconds, that is 2 seconds. So it must have taken 2 seconds to achieve a point of maximum height. So write here 2 seconds. Okay? Okay. Then when you write 2 seconds here, look, 2 seconds, G is 9.8. Look here, T is 2 seconds, G is, so 9.8 into 2. 19.6 meter per second. That is initial velocity. That is, put it here. 19.6. It's a square. G value is 9.8. Find out H maximum. You'll get 19.6 meter. 19.6 meter. Got it? Sum number 14. We have a glass plate which is at height h. Above this glass plate we have some stone. When the stone is released, it starts falling freely. At the end of 6 seconds, it happens to strike with the glass plate. When it is about to strike the glass plate, what is its velocity? Let us find out. V equals to V0 plus AT. Initial velocity for a freely falling body, initial velocity is 0. A equals to minus G because acceleration is vertically downwards. Vertically downwards and negative. Minus G into T. Minus G value is 9.8 meter per second square. Time they are given from here to here, time they are given 6 seconds. So time is 6 seconds. Minus 9.8 into 6, 58.8 meter per second. What does this negative sign indicate? Vertically downward motion. Vertically, that's why velocity is negative. Now, when the stone comes out of the plate, this stone is capable enough to break this glass plate. It breaks the glass plate and it comes out. By that time, they have given that it loses 2/3 of the velocity. It loses 2/3. When it loses 2/3, how much is the velocity left? 1/3. Say
1/3.
2/3 is lost. 2/3 is
lost.
What is left?
1/3.
Say
1/3.
So when the velocity was here, it was v. It was v. Now 1/3 is left, so it is v by 3. Say when this stone is coming out of the plate, suppose velocity is v dash, it is v by 3. It is because 2/3 is lost, 1/3 is left out. Come on. Now the velocity is 1/3 of the velocity v. Come on. V by 3. V is how much? Minus 58.8 upon 3. So it is minus 58.8 upon 3. Answer is minus 19.6 meter per second. Now with that much velocity, it is coming down. Now still, when it comes out of the glass plate, what is the only force acting on it? Gravitational force. So again it is free fall. During which acceleration is minus g. Now tell me. D equals to V0t plus 1 by 2 AT square. Now distance traveled by the stone from here to ground, will give you height of the glass plate. From the ground surface. Let us find out. So D I am just replacing by H. V0 is the velocity of stone while coming out of the glass plate. It is minus 19.6. Say minus 19.6. Time taken by the stone to go from here to ground, they are given 2 seconds. So this time they are given 2 seconds. Come on, 1 by 2. What about A? A equals to minus G. G value is 9.8. And T is 2 seconds. T is from here to here 2 seconds. Simplify. Answer is minus 58.8 meter. Why this H is negative? Correct. The displacement undergone by the stone is vertically downwards. That's why height should come out negative. In textbook they have done wrong thing. You see, in textbook they have taken H equal to minus H. You cannot take that way. So H equal to minus H you cannot take that way. Ultimately this displacement is undergone vertically downwards. It must be negative. But then what have they asked ultimately? Height of the plate from the ground. That height we should take modulus of this. Mod of this will be positive, so it will be plus 58.8 meter. Correct? But here in the equation you must write H equal to minus 58.8 meter. Okay? Next. Sum number 15 is very good sum. Read the statement 2 times. Look, take interest. One question I will ask. Look, we are given one balloon which is rising vertically upwards with a constant velocity 12 meter per second. When the balloon is at height 81 meter from ground, one coin is released from the balloon. Okay? Say coin is released at time t equal to 0, suppose. It strikes the ground at the end of t time. At the end of t time. My question is, when you release this coin in air, when you release that coin, my question is, where will it move first? In which direction will it move first?
Direction of wind.
Krishna?
Direction of wind.
Direction of?
Wind.
Don't consider wind, no air resistance, nothing doing. Instead of balloon, suppose helicopter is there, pilot is just extending his hand outside the helicopter and he drops that coin. My question is, in which direction that coin will move first?
Upward.
Which direction?
Opposite.
Helicopter has got no direction. Its motion has direction. I am asking, in which direction will it move? Right hand side, left hand side, upwards, downwards. That way you answer now. Say wrong. First it will move upwards and then it will come downwards. There is a principle of physics. Body will continue to move in the direction of existing velocity. In the direction of existing velocity till that velocity becomes zero. When this coin was not dropped, where was it? In the balloon. Where was it? And the whole balloon was moving with velocity. So every part of that balloon, including coin, every part, every body inside the balloon had velocity vertically upwards. So when you drop it, what will happen? Firstly, it will move upwards by way of inertia. Because of inertia, it will move upwards, and then after, when upward velocity becomes zero, because of it is moving against gravity, when upward velocity will become zero, then after it will take a U-turn and it will be coming down. You may find the things funny, that though it is drop in air, how itself all alone, how it can go upward. Who is lifting that coin? Really it moves vertically upwards. I cannot take you in the helicopter, but I am giving you another example. You will understand. Now you will understand. Look, suppose here is a tree. Okay, here is a tree, and here is railway track. Train is moving this way. You are sitting beside the window, and you could see that tree. Okay, then you decided, oh, let me check what sir told me. Let me check. So you will decide, oh, when the tree will come in front of my window, I should drop a coin. Suppose you are doing that. Train is moving. Look here, train is moving. Correct? Fine. By the time your coach is coming here, the tree is here. Tree is here. Okay, on the ground, tree is here. Then what will you do? You will extend your hand outside the window. You will drop the coin. Okay? My question is, where that coin will fall? Exactly at the tree, or backwards, or forward? I am getting all the answers. Backwards, tree at the same place, forward also. Answer is forward. Just now I told body will continue to move in the direction of existing velocity. When you had dropped the coin, before dropping the coin, where was it? It was in your hand. Where were you? In the train. Where the train was moving? Ahead, forward, in this direction. Correct? So the coin also had the velocity in the same direction. And when you drop it, it will continue to move in the direction of initial velocity. In the direction of? Now it is moving this way, but gravity is just pulling it downwards. Gravity is just pulling it. So now it will follow parabolic trajectory. It will follow, but it will fall ahead. It will fall. It will not fall at the tree. Okay? Please do this experiment. Whenever you are traveling in the train, do this and no problem if you lose the coin. But drop the stone. Drop the stone. Okay? But do this. So now remember, body will continue to move in the direction of existing velocity till it becomes zero. Till it becomes zero. Fine. Now tell me. D equals to V0t plus 1 by 2 AT square. What is this D? Displacement undergone by the point. Say. What is displacement? Linear distance joining initial and final position. Where was the initial position of the point? Here. And final position after completing whole journey, final position is this, correct? And linear distance joining initial with final position, it will be vertically downwards. Vertically? Vertically? So downward displacement. For downward displacement, don't you know, it is to be taken negative. So I should write minus 81 meters. Say, because this one distance I know it is 81 meter, I should write here minus 81. What is this? Initial velocity of the balloon. Actually it is initial velocity of the coin. Initial velocity of the coin. But when you had dropped that coin, at that time it had the same velocity as that of balloon. Balloon had the velocity 12 meter per second. So this initial velocity of the coin is also 12 meter per second. But why plus 12? Why plus 12? Because it was first going upwards then positive. Upwards then take care. Into t plus 1 by 2 into a. What is a? Minus g. And g they have given, you see. They have given g value 10 meter per second square. Have they given? Yes. Then I should write minus 10 into t square. Minus 81 as it is. 12t as it is. Plus minus minus 10 upon 2, that is 5t square. Transfer this also. 5t square minus 20 minus 81 equals to 0. Match this with, come on everybody, ax square plus bx plus c equals to 0. Match this with the quadratic equation and find out a. A is how much? 5. Come on, b is minus square. B is how much? C is how much? Find out delta. B square minus 4ac. B square minus 4ac. What is B? X square minus 4 into A. A is how much? C is how much? Simplify. Answer is 1764. Take square root. Square root delta is exactly 42. Exactly? 42. Which are the two solutions of this quadratic equation? T equals to minus B plus or minus root delta upon 2A. Minus B is how much? B is how much? Then plus or minus root delta is how much? Upon 2 into A. A is how much? 5. Simplify. Minus minus plus. Plus or minus 42. Plus or minus 5 2s are 10. Can you take 12 minus 42? Can you take 12 minus 42? No, because 12 minus 42, can you take? Because 12 minus 42 will be negative. Will be? Negative. What you are finding? Time. Time cannot be negative. Time cannot be? Negative. That's why you cannot take 12 minus 42. Okay? Then go for plus sign. Go for 12 plus 42. Say 12 upon 10. 12 plus 42? 54. Upon 10, 5.4 seconds. This is the time taken by coin to travel from here to here. But by that time, balloon is continuously rising. Balloon is continuously rising. Then how much additional height it has covered, that is what we have to find out now. Come on. Additional height from here to here. From here to here. Suppose it is d dash. Suppose it is d dash. Arey Baba, distance traveled during the uniform motion. Because balloon is rising with constant velocity, come on, distance is constant velocity into time. Constant velocity into time. Constant velocity of the balloon, they are given 12 meter per second. And what is the time interval? From here to here, time is 5.4 seconds. 5.4 seconds. This into 12, answer is 64.8 meters. 64.8
meters.
But that is the additional height. Additional height which this balloon has covered. Additional height this balloon has covered. And it is d dash. It is d dash. Okay, it is d dash. From here to here, it is d dash. So now what is the total height of the balloon? Total height of the balloon from ground. It is how much? D dash plus 81. Say d dash plus
81.
D dash is how much? D dash is how much? 64.8. 64.8 plus 81 plus
81.
It will give you height of balloon from ground when coin strikes the ground. When coin strikes the, it is 81 plus 64.8. Answer is 145.8. That many meters. Got it?